episode of Who Are You and What Do You Do? Today, our guest is right here from the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina area, a native, believe it or not. There aren't many of them, right? His name is T, and he's the owner of GuitarZan's right here in Myrtle Beach. Please help me welcome to the show, T. T, it's great to have you.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
And his little guitar shop, it's called GuitarZan's, and it's been coined as the coolest little guitar shop of the South. Now,
Right.
How did that happen?
Well, that's just because that's what it is. We set out to be the coolest guitar shop in the South, and that's what we are. So.
All right, the coolest little. And now listen, I thought your name was Zan. Okay.
A lot of people call me that.
They say don't make assumptions, right? But I did, and I said, well, with a name like GuitarZan, it has to be that your name is Zan. And then I find out that you call yourself T. And I said, then wait a minute. There's something more here. Are you what they call the Tarzan of guitars, swinging through the strings? I mean, tell me about that. How did that name?
Yeah, we, just GuitarZan. My wife always just called me like Tarzan, I guess because of my hair and probably my physique. But anyway, and so, that's just, the name just kind of stuck. And it was real cool too, because with the name of GuitarZan, you're able to go in and make everything jungly. That's what we want to kind of create. We wanted to create a destination, so because Myrtle Beach being a tourist destination, we wanted to create something when people come that they'll go to and it's a place they'll remember. And I think we've created that,
Yeah, and when I was in, I saw that you had this, looked like a wall of fame. It was like this big jungle scene, and it had all kinds of different, I'm assuming, famous guitarists?
Yeah.
And so, who are some of your favorite guitars?
Well, the wall contains 40 players. This was done almost 7 years ago when we opened. So, as a musician, as a guitarist, as a artist, you're always getting turned on or evolving, or you should be, to new stuff, new artists. And so those are 40 guitars that I admire, that I grew up, that I like. But to answer your question, that's a loaded question. Who's my favorite? Because I've got so many.
There's so many.
So many. So but they're all on there. The guys I like. Of course, King Edward Van Halen, Angus Young of AC/DC. He's the whole reason I ever picked up a guitar to start with at probably the age of 9 years old. Then you got Andy Summers of the Police. I'm about to say Stuart Copeland. He's the drummer. I've been listening to the Police a lot here lately, and so it's just all those players that I admire, that influence me, and it's also a good little thing too, because when people come in and they see the wall of fame, it's a challenge for them to try to name all the artists, and a lot of times they fail. They can't name them all. They can name some of them, but because some of the stuff I like, music and artists, it's kind of obscure. So,
And then, see, what he's not telling you, guys, is that, listen, if you can name them all, he's got some real cool guitars that maybe he can make give a little prize there for that, right?
I don't know about guitars, but definitely a guitar pick. A world famous guitar pick.
There you go. Or lessons, because he does it all. That's the thing. But you started at the age of 9. Okay, now it's easy when a little boy is sitting there and he goes into his mom's kitchen and gets in the cupboard with the pots and pans and, starts playing. So at 9, what was it that caught your interest somehow? How did that happen?
Well, that's a real easy question to answer. My uncle Billy, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us now, but he had a massive record collection. And I remember the very first record, it was AC/DC. I think this was 1970. Well, the album came out in 76, so this was probably like 78, 77, 78, anyway. And it was Let There Be Rock. And it's AC/DC on the front, but on the back, when you turn the album cover over, It's a drum set, there's a Pepsi can, and there's Angus Young, and he's laid out on his belly with the SG sticking out his back and blood all around. And I was like, as a kid, it was like, oh my God, what is this? I don't know, but I want to do it. It looks real cool, you know. So, and then that just kind of I think that was like the spark that really started the derangement of here we are. I'm almost 50 now, so, and nothing much has changed.
So that's how that started. So when you did you get into professional lessons, or were you just kind of a self-taught musician? How did you hone your skills to become who you are today?
Well, I mean, back then, this was pre-internet. You didn't have no internet. You didn't have nothing to learn. So the way I would learn is I would take those records that my uncle had, that massive record collection, and I'd put something on, and I would slow the record down. And then that started, I learned a couple chords, and then I started to mimic what I was hearing, or try to anyway.
Right, right.
And of course, it's the first thing you learn, Smoke on the Water. And I still teach that, as one of the first songs. And you see when people learn it, they just light up. Oh yeah, and so I remember that. So I get to relive something that happened to me, 40 plus years ago. So that's how I learned. And then, magazines were around Guitar World. There was a magazine called Guitar for the Practicing Musician. It's been long out of circulation. And then as I got older, I started even going back and buying all those. Because they're out of print, and some of them go for some money. But anyway, so I would learn by that. And then you had the advent of music television, MTV.
Oh,
so,
yeah, those were the days, right? MTV back there.
Right.
Yeah,
so
those were the days.
That was another thing. That happened in 81, so I'd have been 11, 12, 13, and as a teenager, you see in Bon Jovi, Richie Sambora on guitar, and Def Leppard, and it just kind of, so not only did you get to hear music, you get to visualize it, and in concert. And I remember just when you couldn't really play much, you got a tennis racket in front of the mirror, you wanted to try to beat those guys,
Right. Right.
So it was a great thing to be a teenager in the 80s, because that's when guitar was, was coming into fruition of the visuals versus, as well as the audible. So.
And that's interesting. And listen, we're going to talk more about that specific thing in just a moment. We're going to go to break, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Here at Perfect Pitch, our mission is to perfectly pitch your brand by cultivating well-crafted stories to bring your products and services into focus. In a collaborative team effort, we strategically slide into your business to gain full insight of who you are, what you do, and where you want to be. Through our unique process of analyzing the market and your competitors, we cover all the bases to make you more visible and elevate your business to that next level. We establish the value of your brand by creatively producing a clear, concise, and relatable message that will be sure to hit home with your customers while striking out the competition.
Welcome back to Who Are You and What Do You Do? And we were talking about how T here of GuitarZan got started at the tender age of 9. So he's been doing it a while. He knows what he's doing. And again, he has a shop here in the Myrtle Beach area. So if there's anybody out there who has ever wanted to learn guitars, he gives guitar lessons. Anybody who wanted to purchase a real cool guitar, he sells really cool guitars. I mean, again, he is the coolest little guitar shop in Myrtle Beach. So tell us all, you actually, I've heard you do repairs as well. There's some musicians that I heard talking. And so you kind of do it all there in the little shop.
We do it all. We're a one-stop guitar shop for all your needs. We do repairs, we do sales, we do lessons, we even do rentals. So we do it all. Well, we do consignments. We got the best consignment program anywhere.
All right.
And when we pay out cash. So, you know, it's a one-stop guitar shop. It's really just, it's something it's a destination. You just have to come and see for yourself.
And that's cool because being the fact that we are in a tourist area, there's a lot of musicians who maybe want to mess around and learn something new while they're on vacation, have that relaxation, and they're not going to be able to, on the plane, carry the guitar. Nowadays, they charge an arm and a leg for everything. So that's great that you're here. And so how would people find you? Like, how would they know that you're here for that purpose? So that when they are coming to Myrtle Beach on vacation, what platforms do you use to advertise yourself?
Well, good old Google. Google, you know, that's the best thing. And, you know, our reviews, TripAdvisor, Google has done us great. That's how people find us, because people come from out of town. Everybody's got a smartphone. But we're right there by the convention center. We're on 21st Avenue North, the heart of Myrtle Beach. 710 21st Avenue, Myrtle Beach, SC 29577. We're in Suite C in Hampton Professional Park. So, yeah, swing on in.
Yeah. So the thing is, so when a person comes in, and they, let's just put it this way, say a person has a desire and they're excited to think about playing that guitar. Maybe they were sitting around like you were doing, right? And have a makeshift. They may have taken the rake and you know, out in the yard and playing. So how do you determine if somebody has the ability to learn? Because some people are under the mindset, and I wanted you to touch on that they had to be trained and learn how to read and write music. But you're saying that's not necessarily the case. I think we were talking before, that they could learn. So don't be discouraged, guys, if you don't think that you could read music, because you don't have to necessarily learn to play. Is that right?
No, not at all. And I tell folks, if you got a desire is 90% of learning really anything in life, doing anything. If you have a desire to do it, you will do it, you know. And I'm just there. I'm the conduit that's going to just kind of guide the way. You know, I'll show you the way. I'll show you the secrets. We'll unlock the myths of the fretboard. But I'm just a guider. I'm just a guidance person, I guess you will. Just to kind of show, because if you got a desire, like I said, you're going to, in other words, like my students, I know when they hadn't practiced. You know, when they come in, number one, they sit down and they kind of, right? Whenever they do this right here, I'm like, oh boy, you didn't practice, did you? But if they come in, oh man, you know, let me show you this. Why? Because they've had a desire. If you have a desire, I've said all that to say this, I'm not going to have to, or nobody's got to tell that person to go and practice their guitar. If you got a desire, you're going to go practice your guitar. You're going to go and learn. You're going to advance yourself. You're going to come to your lesson. You're going to come to your lesson prepared, you know.
Right.
So desire is 90% of learning guitar.
And you're never too old. That's another thing.
Never too old.
Never too old. He's got them from as little as 9 up to
79.
70. Is that true?
That is true.
Is that true?
That is true.
79 years
79,
old.
yeah.
See, you're never too old to learn. So that's even cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, this is the cool. Hey, listen, how cool can you be teaching a 79-year-old?
Yeah.
I mean, hey, and do they really get to the point where they can play several songs?
Absolutely. I mean, we hit the ground running when you come to take lessons from me. See that?
It seems like, T, you got confirmation on that last statement. I mean, all of a sudden the thunder rolled. Listen, lights out, guys. Welcome back. And we were talking before we got interrupted with the thunderstorm here. What that you teach, you know, from young to old. They're never. Just remember, you're never too old to learn how to play. And listen, I wanted to ask you, speaking of playing, are you available if a local musician wanted you to come in and do some studio session work? Is that something that you would be for hire to do, or do you not do much of that?
I don't do much of that, but you know, I'm open to anything. You know, I don't turn down nothing but my collar. So,
Okay.
especially if the price is right. But no, I would be open to that. I hadn't done much of that. I've done a lot of people come in looking for, you know, an act to hire for their party or for their wedding. I've done stuff like that, you know, get calls for that. And
Oh, okay, so you do. You're available for private
absolutely.
functions.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent. Okay, and right now, of course, it's kind of difficult to sing with the mask on, right? How are you working around that with the corona?
Yeah, yeah. I don't wear the mask. I played Friday and Saturday night, and I looked out and nobody had a mask on, but it was outside.
Outside. Okay, good. Okay, good.
Yeah, they don't really put me inside too much.
You do play a little local here and there, but for the most part now, it's most of your time is spent in your shop.
Yeah.
Okay, and give me a little virtual tour. If someone were to you know, walk in your shop, what would they see when they come into the shop?
Well, when they walk in, they'll be greeted, "Welcome to GuitarZan." And that's not a joke. That's really how we greet folks. And so they walk in to the left. They'll see a wall. We talked about earlier, the Wall of Fame guitar players, 40 players that I was inspired by. My wife Jill, she did all that. It's very, very neat. And you had seen it, players sitting on trees.
Yeah,
playing guitar.
literally like they're in the jungle. It's
so
cool.
you'll see that. You look to the right, there's camouflage netting with some guitars in the front room. There's vines, literally vines come out of my backyard that Jill, my wife Jill, she went, and I didn't do it, you know. I'm not getting out there with the thorns and the briars. And she pulled all those up, put them up. I think I did help hang them, but so everything she done in there. And I tell folks all the time that come into GuitarZan, I say, they always like, "Oh, this place is amazing." I was like, let me just tell you, you know, no man has decorated like this, you know, because it's definitely a woman's touch, but it's very cool, you know.
Very cool.
So you see that, some guitars, you walk in to the left is the higher end room. We have handmade mandolins. We have two now. Mr. Cross in Smyrna, Tennessee, Mr. Arnold Cross, he's like 90 something.
Wow.
And him and his wife come down and he hand makes his mandolins. And I think I've sold 4 or 5 of them for him.
Wow.
And we're the only one of the few dealers that carry his mandolins. It's us, Groon Guitars, famous Groon Guitars in Nashville, and a handful of people carry his mandolins. So we have that in there. We have some guitars here we'll talk about a little bit. We have other high-end stuff. You take a right, go down the hall. It's all decorated. It's all jungly, GuitarZan. You take a right, you get the electric room. That's where we have the amps, the electric guitars. Straight ahead would be the acoustic room. We have all the acoustics. It's all environmentally controlled, humidified, well-regulated air. That's the room where we have the acoustics.
Okay, all right.
And that's pretty much it. And while you're going though, it's just not like you walk into a room, go to another room. You've got things to see, things to witness, things to partake in the mental capacity as you're walking to these various rooms. Again, we wanted to be a destination. And I think we've created that. And it's just not me saying that. It's people from Chicago that say that. People from South Dakota say that. People from Pennsylvania, New York, all over the country. Mm-hmm. We have repeat customers from all over the country. They come to Myrtle Beach once a year, and they always stop by and see us.
Well, that's
so
cool.
We appreciate those people.
Cool. Again, it's the coolest little guitar shop in the South. And on that note, we're going to take a break and we'll be right back. And when we come back, he's going to go ahead and tell you some specific little group of guitars. Well, I'll let him tell you. We'll be back in just a moment.
Here at Perfect Pitch, our mission is to perfectly pitch your brand by cultivating well-crafted stories to bring your products and services into focus. In a collaborative team effort, we strategically slide into your business to gain full insight of who you are, what you do, and where you want to be. Through our unique process of analyzing the market and your competitors, we cover all the bases to make you more visible and elevate your business to that next level. We establish the value of your brand by creatively producing a clear, concise, and relatable message that will be sure to hit home with your customers while striking out the competition.
Welcome back to Who Are You and What Do You Do? We're here with T from GuitarZan, right here in the heart of Myrtle Beach. And I had inquired, he was talking about something called steampunk. And I said, what is that? So T's gonna give us a little background on some of this collection of guitars that he has right here. T, tell us a little bit about what is this steampunk all about?
Okay, so these are, like you said, steampunk. Steampunk is it's a genre. It's retro futuristic. That is, retro being that of the past, futuristic being that, obviously, of the future. Kind of think a little bit like Blade Runner meets, I don't know, Johnny Mnemonic. So it's a little bit of that, a little bit of both that. It's actually, it's a subgenre of science fiction, science fantasy, but it dates back to the 19th century, the British Victorian. You can even go back to the Wild West, you know. So, but then it's also talking about the how things were powered by steam, locomotive, stuff like that. So it's just about an era of time, and so.
So are these just for looks, or
no?
Are they really?
No, they're very playable. That's the thing. Jill and I, my wife, we made these guitars. We have a lot of hours in these, and there was no set blueprint when we started this. It was all just kind of creativity. Go as we go, we put it together, and just to see what happens. But the main thing was that it had to play. It had to play good. It had to be a great player. And so that was the main thing in mind as we did all this. For example,
what is that one called?
This is the Tesla. This is, again, the 19th century, anything to do with that kind of Thomas Edison. I'll show you that. We've got that as well. You know, and Tesla, he really created Wi-Fi before it was known as Wi-Fi, if you study him. And so the antennas, the watch, the compass, all these little intricate parts here. There's Tesla there.
Yeah.
You know, at the back is, and the cool thing here, all this tubing, that is your input jack, which reaches the back here. So all the wires are running through here that go up to the pickups. And
wow.
So we wired all that. Your toggle, really cool pieces here. Your volume, your tone. So
wow. Can you play a little piece on that? Let's see what that thing sounds like.
We can. With this hole here, I cut a hole in the guitar here, and we had an idea, just to give you a little footnote on this. We had this light, because I thought we had the great idea. Oh man, what if you played and the light moved to the sound?
Yeah.
So that was the idea. Well, the pickups are nothing more than a magnet that pick up the vibration of the string. So when this light was going off, it buzzed all get out. It was horrible. So I was like, uh-oh, now what do we do with a hole in the guitar? This is a big hole, right? So we just wired it up with copper and put some moving parts in here. So it turned out good. But yeah, so with this guitar, you know, it's black, and it's, you know, you have your antennas here, so you almost got a. Let's see if we can keep this on. You know, that kind of stuff.
Wow,
So
that's
it's a
pretty
great
cool.
playing guitar, you know.
All right.
Yeah.
Woo! All right.
Thank you. I'll be here all week.
And these are available for if someone wanted to purchase any of these. Is that correct?
Yes, these are available for sale. Jill's not crazy about selling them, but they are for sale. We sold one. We did a V that was so cool. It had real not real bullets. They were dummy bullets, but they were really from the military. These bullets here, and I had an Army can that was really a Army eye ointment can. It was real cool. And somebody from Missouri was down visiting, and they fell in love with it. And he's like, "How can I get it home?" I said, "No problem. We ship all over the world, literally."
All right.
So Missouri is nothing compared to Australia, New Zealand, Russia.
Wow, that's good to know.
So
All
yeah,
right.
we ship all over the world.
Okay, cool.
And these are available. You know, you can go to our website and look at them. So this is Tesla. Very cool guitar. Great playing guitar. So that's that. Should I show you another one?
Yeah, show us
Okay.
another one. Let's see what's going on here.
This is the Edison guitar. So I won't plug it up, but anyway. So this is Thomas Edison. This is your volume. Your volume knob. I don't know if the camera can see this. That's your volume. This is your toggle switch. And again, I'm a fan of these kind of wiring, right? There's your input jack, and it runs in all these fake dummy wires here, these copper wires, but the wires are running under here to these lipstick humbucker pickups.
Oh, all
It's
right.
magnifying glass, really smooth. This is really a 1895 postcard from that era. Again, that era. The clock, the tooling. On the back is the By the Light of the Silvery Moon, which this was the #1 record at the turn of the century during that time. And these are all numbered. The GuitarZan. This is actually #1. This is the very first one we ever built.
All right.
And again, you know, it's a great playing guitar.
They're all very playable. Not only do they
Yeah.
look incredible, but they're very playable. Wow, I think this is one of the best kept secrets here in Myrtle Beach. And like you said, you do consignment. That is something you buy and sell and do consignment. And is there anything else that you want people to know, whether it's tourists that are coming into the area to see your shop or local musicians? Is there anything that you really would like to be known out there, you know, and let people know what you're looking to do more than anything there in your guitar shop?
Yeah, more than anything, what we want to do, our mission statement is getting the right guitars in the right hands. Now, I go all over the state, sometimes out of state, and I buy guitars. If you have a guitar you want to sell, if rare, unique, please let us know. We also do consignment. But get back to what I was saying, our mission statement is getting the right guitars into the right hands. That's what we want to do, because every guitar is different. They could be the same guitar made on the same day, but yet one will be totally different. It has what I call mojo, you know, and the other one won't. And that other one that doesn't have the mojo, somebody might pick it up and says, "This one's got mojo," whereas the one I just played, I didn't think it did, but I thought the one I'm playing now does.
That's
so they're
right.
all different. It's just like individuals. We're all different. People are different. So the guitar is going to be different for that person. And so everything we have in our shop is used. So we're getting guitars throughout the whole state, everywhere. And so it's really worthwhile coming down and checking it out, because you just might find something like the guy in Missouri who bought the V I was telling you about.
Right.
And we're able to ship. You can go to our website. We ship all over, literally all over the world. So I shipped a guitar last week, a Fernandez. It's kind of a rare guitar, and a guy got it out in Chino, California. And he sent me an email just letting me know that guitar was more than just wood and strings. he had had that guitar a long time ago. Not that particular, not that exact one, but the model like it. And, you know, he didn't go into much detail, but I could read between the lines that he had gotten some trouble, you know, and he had lost the guitar. So when he got that guitar, it changed his whole life. And he said, I'm going to do good because of this guitar. I'm turning my life around. So stories like that is the whole reason that GuitarZan exists, because we want to get the right guitar in the right hands. And so that's a fine example.
All right. Well, with that said, I want to thank you once again for joining us here at Who Are You and What Do You Do? And hey, go down and see GuitarZan. His name, he goes by T, and it is the coolest little guitar shop in the South. We'll see you next time on Who Are You and What Do You Do?